Welcome to EJH British Cars. So a nice sunny day today in California. I don't know, it's in the 60s anyway. So I thought I might do something a little bit easier. I recently rebuilt the steering wheel, so I'll show you how I mounted it on the column. Then we're going to reinstall the control head with its new wiring harness. And I'll show you how I got the front end lined up to put the steering wheel so it's straight level when the car is going straight ahead. So let's get started. So this, according to the manual, is the correct thing. So they talk about the slots in the top of this column being in line with this pin and that's going to go at the 12 o'clock position, and that's because this plate with this pin moves independently of this backing plate, which is screwed to there. This piece of metal here is stays stationary with that pin, and then when you turn this, or this turns with the steering wheel. I got that backwards. So this big metal piece here turns with the steering wheel. It's locked in by the 3 screws, 1, 2, 3, and that's the self-canceling device for the turn signals. So still got this out just about an inch, so the lever goes to the 12 o'clock position, but that little arrow bracket goes to the 6 o'clock position here underneath. Hopefully you can see that. So these are the wires at the end. You can see how those are staggered to go through that narrow tube section. So we're going to feed these down the center of the steering column, which is much bigger, as you can see. So they should pass through there easily. They come all the way down and through the internals of the steering box and come out right there. So let's go ahead and feed that in. All right. Never actually done this before, so bear with me. I'll get those wires. Hopefully you can see this. Feed them into the hole. Hopefully they should go down readily. These are the anti-rattle devices that they talk about in the instruction manual. They just keep this from rattling inside of this other inner tube. It should go like that. Let's go look at the other end. Look at that. So now this gets, they call it a gland nut, or here in the States they call them olives, and a nut that holds that in, and that'll secure this, and that's what keeps that whole control head from rotating when you turn the wheel. So let me get to see why they call them that. I believe this is a 3/8. I've already got one here on the shaft, and then this is the nut that goes on it, and that just feeds over those wires like this, and then we'll feed it down to the shaft, put it on, just put it on loose for now, check all my alignments, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten this down into the column, make sure that that's on where it wants to be. And these should just be no big deal. So I've got those 3 screws tight. Now we just need to tighten up that gland at the bottom. Alright, I've snugged that up. That was a 5/8 open end, by the way. And we'll be able to put oil in here now, because before it would have just leaked out without this gland. And if you look, see, that's sitting up square, and that stands, and this turns without it. So that's done. So I just let it take a minute. Let it take a minute and show you. We've got this is all early, so it's Lockheed. This is a clutch and brake master cylinder with I think they're Cooper nickel lines in place with their bends. They go down. This is the clutch, and it goes into there, and then the end of the hose has a special end that catches in that bracket. And this is the brake line coming in up into there. So that's all secured down. As you remember, we had to replace the bottom of this pocket. So that all came out pretty nice. It's almost starting to look like a car again. I wanted to point out there's a rubber plug in the body here, and that's how you get this long bolt through the back. And then this access port, so you could get at these if you have a hard time, but this being all new stuff, I could just do those up from here with an open-end wrench. But if you had an older car with stuff that was getting kind of gunky, that's what you kind of need to do. The other thing is they have these ears here, and I really think this is just, you get your bolts in and don't tighten them down all the way and snug that up, and that pulls this bolt forward and holds this thing tight in the assembly, because you're getting a lot of pressure up here. Don't forget that the brake pedal is about 10 to 1 or more. So, you know, 100 pounds of force is 1,000 pounds going back, so it keeps this box from rolling back and forth. So just put them in, run the bolts in, don't tighten them, snug that up, and then tighten everything down. And then on these brake lines, I think right there is a hole, so there's a line clamp there, and one of the pictures I saw was a double clamp that held the line and the speedometer cable, which must come up here, and I expect feeds through there. I think this is the wiring harness out here, but I don't see any holes in this, and I didn't fix any. So just a quick video today. Hope you enjoyed that, made some progress. I had a bit of fun, and now I'm off to kick the old paint off of the boot lid. So that'll be the drudgery, my penance for having fun this morning. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you next time.